All right, we got Katarina. What's up, Kat?
Hey.
Cat.
We are going to share your 100 freestyle with the world from the SEC Championships. This is the C final. It was a great race for you, but before we start talking about the race, tell us what sort of stuff do you like to think about before your races?
So, um, before the race, I'm trying to focus and like imagine the distance, like in my head, how I'm like swimming it, and trying to find some like uh, main things. So, like for example, for me, is first half of the distance, turns and underwaters, and the second half. So I'm trying to think like separately about each of those and how I should um, uh, complete those, right?
Yeah, just executing. I mean, I think that's really cool to hear that so much of the details of your races you're thinking about before you get in the water, so that once you're in the water, you're just trusting what you've already thought through. I think that's really good. Does that give you a very clear mind when you're racing?
Yeah. Also, I'm trying to prepare myself for work. So I like I think in my head, I'm convincing myself that it's gonna hurt, but like I'm ready for it. I was like working on it, so I'm ready to do my best.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. Well,
Yeah.
this was an awesome swim. This was, you go 48.8, 100 freestyle, I believe the fifth fastest 100 freestyle in LSU history, which means we've got four more to go, right? That's what it means.
Yeah.
So let's watch it a little bit. We'll talk through it. Lyle's here as well to talk about it.
Go cat.
So you're here in lane 3 with the LSU cap on, obviously. How do you feel about your first 25 in terms of the approach?
I remember I felt like uh big and like I felt speed, but at the same time it was kind of like easy speed, like I didn't spend like so much effort on the first 25,
Yeah.
just trying to like kind of build myself, I would say.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm assuming that gives you a lot of confidence when, you see here in this race, everyone's turning together at the 50. And,
yeah,
and, and so for you swimming it that way, do you have a lot of confidence on that second 50?
yeah, I think I was focusing on the second half more. That's
It's
usually
awesome.
what I'm doing.
Awesome. Well, let's see what you do on the second half. This is where you do your damage right here.
Did I breathe on the first stroke or not? I want to think that I didn't breathe because I was trying.
Yeah, you breathe on the first stroke, but the thing is, like with what you're doing, let's say for instance on that last turn, if you just go back, um, the cool part about it is that even though you're breathing, you're taking a stroke with the right arm, but then you're going to go and take that breath to the right. So you've taken a stroke, and then with that stroke, you're then allowing yourself to breathe. So you're not necessarily disturbing the stroke with that breath. I think you're making that breath part of the first cycle without really disturbing too much. And you can see here as well, like it's not affecting your breakout at all, which is always the problem a lot of the time when people are taking those breaths. They're raising their head aggressively to do it, and your body line is great through that um, first part. But then you put your head down here, right? You take another breath. No, you head down, head down, head down. Get your hand on the wall, and you
Yeah.
win the race as well. You get that first, which was really awesome. But I think it's such a great point. You take that breath coming off the wall, but I don't think you took you maybe took one more breath after that, so two breaths on the last 25, which is impressive. I mean, I know you and Lyle work on that in the power stuff that you do. Like, talk about that a little bit.
Uh,
Well,
about
I'll take it a little bit, Kat. So I remember this moment whenever you were swimming like these 16 100s or something with Steve, and you were doing what we call the death breath, where it's death because it kills your momentum, where you breathe to the side and you're going into the turn, and you really in this moment, right? It was like number 9 or something. You were doing it a little more, and you did it on 2 turns, and then something changed in your mindset, and you said, "No, I'm not doing it anymore." And for the like back 6 reps, all the turns were perfect. The times were better, and it hurt more each time. But I think whenever you were swimming that race, you went to that moment of confidence where in that moment, you decided for the rest of the season that you weren't going to let that death breath creep in, and that you were going to use the wall as a trampoline. And we worked on it, and you built that confidence from it. Just tell me a little bit about that practice moment, if you can remember, and
yeah.
did it help you?
Yeah, so I think we found this mistake after like Obermeet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. So afterwards, we were trying to like make differences,
Mm-hmm.
practices.
Yeah.
I know that that was like super painful, but after like all practices, like on the meet, it was much easier. I think I was also like trying not to breathe last 2 strokes before I'm coming to the wall,
Yes.
and uh,
I mean, I remember the practice that Lyle's talking about, and I think for you more than anything, what it shows is that you exemplify the ability. So you're very good at the ability to make a mistake and learn from it and make an adjustment very quickly. And I think that is something that, with the amount of feedback that between myself and Lyle we provide in training on a daily basis, not everybody's built that way. And I think anybody listening to this who appreciates that feedback, what you do with that feedback is really on you as the athlete. And for you personally, you're so good at sort of putting those guardrails up of saying, this is what I'm allowing myself to do, but I can't make any mistakes outside of this. This has to be the way I do it. And that practice was a turning point. But to see you then, your season to finish at the your last individual race at the SECs, to finish in a way like that, where this thing that was a big part of your training suddenly came to fruition, and you performed so well. That's exciting. It shows that discipline is going to pay off for you in the long term. So it's awesome.
I remember like when like at practices and when I really wanted like to take breaths, like I was like out of oxygen, but I just think like in my mind it was like if I do one time, I will do another time again.
Uh,
So for even now, like when we're doing like 300s or like distant, like more like
Yeah.
distance, uh, I just can't like allow myself to take a breath on the other side because it will maybe like go back to when it started. So I'm still focusing on it.
Kat, I love that. And me and Steve have been doing a lot of work talking about your floor and your ceiling. Okay, so your floor, you decided in that moment, I will never go below and take that breath. So what happens to your ceiling? Boom, it skyrockets up. Now that that's your floor, that foundation is so much stronger. And you have a really good mindset where you're always positive, and you can like draw those lines and really commit to them. What do you think about yourself, or how do you stay so positive all the time?
I mean, why not?
I love it. I love it. I didn't know it was going to be something like short and profound like that. And you're right. Why not stay so positive? But it's easier than said than done. So I will say you're very special in that regard, that you have an extremely positive mindset. And I think that helps you set that baseline, that floor, and your ceiling is going to keep rising because of it.
I just think that like when I'm positive, I'm doing better. Because if I have some like, if I'm angry or something, and like some other thoughts like coming my mind, and they just make it worse, more difficult to. So I mean,
That's right. That's great.
Perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. And you know, it's what's so great about this video is that we've gone over the race and we've started to explore a little bit of, you know, just the way we like to communicate, the way we like to discuss these things, because I think there's a bigger part to everyone's success here, at least, is that if you're willing to take on the ownership of the advice and the points that we're giving you and this help that we're providing, you know, you're going to have success. And, you know, your positivity helps so much with that. So we appreciate you doing this, and thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Okay, I'm gonna need you to work on your spirit animals still, though. I need a report.
All right.
So far, we got super awesome Russian bear. All right, but if you got a better one.
All right, I'll think about it.